All right. Good morning, everyone. What am I missing here? All right. Good morning. I'm Dark Pool Algo. Thanks for joining me on another morning live stream. We are going to be doing our watch list building session today. We're going to be looking at the news. We're going to be looking at stocks. We're going to be looking at options. We're going to be looking at the overall market. Today is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2022, and this is basically a Thursday. Okay. Tomorrow the market is, I think, open till noon. Let me see here. Let me just double check on the market hours. Let's see, stock market hours. And let me get signed into the chat because, I need to get signed into the chat. Morning, Les. Let's see. Holidays. I feel like that's a little high. Sorry about the loud little monk you just heard there. And I'm sorry I'm late. Let's see. We are closed Friday. So today is basically a Thursday. I'm actually going to consider today more like a Friday. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people in trading tomorrow. We're going to experience lowered volume today. So again, treat the stock market today like, yeah, I know. Dude, here's the deal. And this is a good thing. If you know me, I get about 3 hours of sleep at night. It's been that way for years. And I don't know what it is. Like, I take CBD gummies to help me sleep. I'm not trying to take Ambien or anything like that, right? I'm not trying to take a bunch of prescriptions or whatever. But I actually got a pretty decent amount of sleep last night, which is interesting. I think I probably got like 6 or 7 hours. And I think a lot of it's got to do with, one, the beta of FlowTrade's finally out, and that's exciting, right? I'm able to kind of promote this a little bit more, a little harder now. And then obviously working with beast numbers is phenomenal. It just takes 90% of my stress away, right? Because it's hard. It really is hard looking and trying to find a stock to play every single day, right? It's really nice being able to focus on a handful, getting used to how they move, and being able to know exactly the best entry and exit for the specific option we're looking for. So that's been a kind of a blessing in disguise. I mean, it's been a godsend, to be honest with you. So props to that. Again, I'm going to be working on, beginning of next year, we're going to be working on a couple of other specific things. We're going to be going in and posting more dark pool stuff. We're going to be focusing on dark pool stuff and how it can affect the market, block trade stuff, all of that in the Discord, and really starting to grow some of these partnerships that we have. So that being said, I do want to get you guys' plays taken care of as soon as possible. So if you have requests, get them to me now. It'll also help me out because I really haven't gone through the scanners or anything. I can tell you I am holding a Google 2950. I'm taking a little heat on it. I got in at the wrong time on Monday. One thing I've learned about these beast numbers is it's extremely important to be able to find a zone to target your price action to come down to and have that align with your beast numbers. Okay. All right. So let me just do one thing here real quick. I had a request to get somebody a chart, and let me see if I can get that over to them. And it's this one. And come on, Toss. So Toss has been a pain in the behind lately. This is my market hours one. If none of you have seen this before, I'll see if I can show it to you. I created I've got a study that showcases market hours and the importance of important events that happen during those hours. Let me see if I can. How do I make this bigger? Go like that. All right. Get that over here. This. Shrink this up a little bit. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a white line right there that says power hour next to it. That's the open. Obviously lunch is over. I think that the market gets manipulated at around this time right here. So I was able to modify it there. Bond close, power hour, and then the last 30. So I'm going to share this study with one of my compadres, and we will hop into this stuff, okay? I'm going to be really quick today with the news, so where's it at? Market. Yeah, let's see. Intraday trade times. Boom. We want to share this. All right, that's done. And I don't need that up anymore. And then I need this, and that's fine. Can stay where it's at. And we'll get over here. Let's get into it, shall we? AMD, good news. Glad to see AMD was good for you. AMD was good for me yesterday as well. However, overnight AMD did decide to drop back down into the 15s and the 30-minute bottom. So it pulled back to that 142, 143. I had the 144s going into yesterday. I had to go to the dentist to get my bite adjusted, and so I got out probably 142.50, a little bit in profit. Obviously, I took them from 60 cents or 65 cents to, what was it, 65 to 180? Yeah, 65 to 180. So triple, 300% gainers, right? And that was off of a play that I got into at a bad position. So the power of the beast is absolutely incredible. Okay, let's do the news real quick, and we will, let's see. I like my new little setup here I got going on. I like it. This is my little 2-chart setup that gives me all the information I need to know, right? Standard deviations off of the mean, radiant fire, overall market sentiment, right? This is the 821.34, and then 34.50, 200. If basically stacked EMAs over here down the bottom right, on the bottom right corner. That's a study I can share with everyone, right? I think that's freely available pretty much anywhere. I think it's available free in Thinkorswim or in TradingView. The rest of the stuff I can't really give you. This is Radiant Fire Pro. This is a multi-squeeze, or this is a Squeeze Pro. This is the multi-squeeze Pro down here. All of these I will be able to give you all a discount in the beginning of next year. So if you're interested in them and you can hold off for a couple weeks, let me know. I will get you guys a discount on them. Super valuable tools. And then obviously these are my multi-Keltner channels here. I don't think I can show that one either. But if you sign up for FlowTrade, you can get access to all this stuff. Okay. But I went to this chart setup because I can get all the information I need off the daily, and then I've got my little 3-minute down here that gives me my intraday time frames, and it lets me see what's going on with this particular stock, right? Look at that AMD, nice super rally, pullback, rallying. It's kind of consolidating, right? I wouldn't expect a ton of volume coming in. I would be more interested in trying to maybe find some pinning strikes, and I think that 140 strike is going to be pretty vital. If we were to, let me get last thing set up here. Let me grab an options chain so that we know what we're looking at and pop that sucker. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one, didn't I? Dang it. Did pop the rights. Get the right one popped out here. Yo ho ho. There we go. I don't know why I've got an Iron Condor from back in July saved on Boeing, but it's there. All right, we've got the options chain. We've got the favorite toss layout, and then we've got this guy. All right, let's get into it. All right. Morning watch list, morning Laz, morning Johnny, morning Terry, morning, is it D-Ray? And then, who else did I miss? I don't think I missed anybody. Hey, Johnny, are you looking at anything today? If not, let me know. All right, excuse me. So, yes, I am drinking the old-fashioned Bang today. And here's why. I need the energy. Okay, quickly through the news, and we'll get to it. BlackBerry BlackBerry had Q3 adjusted earnings. They were flat versus an estimated loss, which is actually bullish for them. They see Q4 revenues up to, let's see, below their, about 10 million below their estimate. Expects continued sequential growth in and for Q4 cybersecurity revenue to be in about $125 to $135 million range. So they blew on earnings. If they can get back up above 950, that's a 4-hour cult, above 950, right? It's yesterday's highs. I think they're going to move up to 1028 pretty easily, and then finally up to 12. Ready Aim Fire is getting ready to release. Slingshot Squeeze is getting ready to release on the daily. Not super thrilled about this double red. However, decent earnings may give them enough momentum to get them above the 200 and then the 34. So we'll look for that. Look for that little bit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move there. Intraday, I probably wouldn't look at anything today. We bounced right off the 5200, and I believe this is like a weird 50 and 200. So it's a 2-hour 50, and I think it's the 2-hour 50, and then I don't know, I've been playing around with it. So BlackBerry, if you wanted to play a little small cap penny stock, based on what the Russell does today, this might be a fun play. All right, moving on. Camp, I don't know if anybody's ever played CalAmp, but they did have earnings yesterday. They came in with a negative, or they came in at an 8-cent loss versus an 8-cent gain. So from 10 all the way down to 750, they're in difecta mode for shizzle. For sure. And I think I need to move this to the 4-hour. There we go. Right. Definitely difecta mode. Ooh, I should throw those up on there. I like that. Move all the way back down to $7 from 750. Possibly 645. They lost on earnings, and they're just falling off the face of the earth. Camp, they could be a value play going into next year. But again, we don't really play those small caps. BIIB, which is BIIB, which is a stock that we play quite often, right? Had earning, or actually slipped, as the Japan Health Ministry says. Inconsistent trial results make it difficult to determine efficiency for their Alzheimer's treatment. That's what they were really banking on, right? So they've been kind of falling off a little bit, compressing in the 4 hours, and caught between the daily top and daily bottom. They did break below the 200, and if they break down below this 228 level, right, then you can expect, if they're below, let's just call it 229, a little bit, you can expect a larger move back down to probably the daily bottom coming at 221, right? I would expect maybe 4-hour mid to hold, but it's pretty ugly looking with their negatively stacked moving averages. They've got, right, negatively stacked moving averages below the 200. They can fall down into the 4-hour pretty easy and all the way down to the daily. Ready Aim Fire is going to fire up to the downside. Double yellow, right? Pretty dang heavy. I wouldn't try to dead cat bounce this. If we want to look at BIIB, maybe we can look at it into going into the next week, okay? Merrick coming out with some news on a partnership with Merrick and a privately held therapeutics company. So the UK government has ordered an additional 1.75 million courses of their COVID antiviral. The new order helps bring the total ordered by the UK government up to 2.23 million courses. So just like Moderna and Pfizer in the US, Merck is the overseas preferred treatment, I believe. So this could actually be a kind of a fun play. The histogram, right? Look at that cup and handle on the 4-hour, currently trading at the mids. If we can, if we get any volume and momentum coming in, that squeeze could easily release up to the upside. Currently, we're trading about 76, right? 76 is support. 4-hour tops coming at 77. So if we can get back, wow, I'm really late. Dang, dude, sorry. See that little pop that just happened on Merrick, right? Rally up, pullback. A bunch of orders just came through. I love seeing that 6 o'clock bell happen. All right, I gotta hurry up. Merrick could be a fun one. If you're interested in it, let me know. I'll pull up the FlowTrade and we'll look at playing that one today. LGND. Was this the one that did really weird stuff a couple weeks ago. I can't remember, but yesterday fell off. Right, fell off most of the day. A little bit of a rally up into the 5s, 15s, rejected the 4-hour top, closed above the 200. So it's in a position where it can, if it can break 154.50, there's a move up to 160, right? Them and GlaxoSmithKline expand an existing collaboration and license agreement where Ligand Pharmaceuticals receive an upfront payment of $10 million and is eligible for development and regulatory milestones. So I believe we had news on this a couple weeks ago that they were entering into a partnership. They fell off a cliff going into yesterday. Right, they fell off a cliff yesterday like everything else did. Found some support, trying to rally back up out of it. So 1, 2. The safe play for them is above 154.50. So way up here, previous highs. Yeah. Anyway, the WHO, not the WHO, but the World Health Organization Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, that's a mouthful, said that Novavax COVID-19 vaccine should be administered in a 2-dose series. NVAX. Is this a cheap one? No, it's not. But it can move, stack positive moving averages. We may be a little early on it. I would prefer for it to get back up above. Really, to be honest, I'd like it to get above this 30-minute top, or potentially it's at 4-hour and daily mid right now. If it can take out yesterday's highs, or Tuesday's highs, Mondays. So this is Tuesday. I don't know what they got going on here. Take out yesterday's highs at 198.50. Immediately, you've got a little bit of resistance at 202. There is a play on the way up. I think that news will help it, but I think there's other things that we can play. Moving on. Voya Financials is joining the small cap 400. Jeez, Voya. Did I do it again? I really like that news. Okay. They're replacing Coresight Realty, which is being acquired by American Tower. So Voya Financial, super pop, like $5 rip off that news of joining the S&P. They've got overhead resistance at about 70. Look for a retracement if you want to play this. I don't even know how this thing moves. If we're interested in finding a new financial play, let me know. We're going to have to start building a list because I realize that our list doesn't have any financials and it's very tech heavy. So we need to adjust that. We need to be a little bit more balanced. You know what I mean? We can't just be all in tech or else we're going to be sitting around on our thumbs some days being like, what do we do? Tech's chopping. We can't really get into it. Okay. API reports crude inventories fell 3.75 million barrels last week, and gasoline inventories rose at 3.7 million barrels, and a decrease in distillate inventories of 800,000 barrels. How's that going to affect our crude? Hopefully it keeps pushing it down. Overnight futures, ES is setting up a head and shoulders. I'm not super thrilled about that. All right. Walmart and CVS came out and said that they've capped their sales of at-home COVID testing kits as demand surges due to the spread of the variant. Walmart used to be on my do not trade list up until last week. I traded it a little bit. We've got some overhead resistance coming into this week on Walmart. Let's see if I can get this moved up a little bit. Right. So we're trying to get our moving averages stacked positive again. We got the 50-200 cross that happened last week. We're currently trading right at the 4-hour bottom. So any pops to 141, which would be 4-hour mid, and above the 200 is the safer play. So above 141, right, for a move up to 143 and 144. Right, I like that. Going into today, nice recovery yesterday. Walmart's got a little bit of resistance. So 140 seems to be the level. So above 140, you're going to get a little bit of resistance from 140 to 140.40. And then it's going to fight up to 141, right? 141 is the good old-fashioned 200. What did I do here? Oh, it's not sharing drawings. What the heck? Hold on. It's supposed to share drawings, but it's not. All right, I'll figure that out later. So overhead resistance at 141. Like, it's got some pretty significant overhead resistance. So play it for a quick play. CVS. Also, dude, I think I might have found the next rally stock. CVS, super choppy, fragilistic XP chop. I don't even know what to call this. Big rally into yesterday, chopping around overnight. If it can break this bull flag that it's kind of created for itself, this would be a longer term bull flag. We've got stack positive moving averages. We're above the 50. We've got overhead room to about 102. I don't know how CVS moves, but a dollar move could be fun. Okay. Thor Industries, THO, authorizes repurchase of $250 million of its common stock. Not Thanos. I put Thanos in there 3 times. I did. Come on. Doesn't like that news. Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't want to update. That's fine. DRI upgraded to buy. DRI used to be a punk band I used to listen to when I was a kid. Every time I see that, I'm like, I start thinking, all right. It's just super choppy, right? There's so many better plays. Slingshot Squeeze getting ready to release. We've got a little bit of overhead resistance. We do have room from 144 to 150. Above one, or excuse me, yeah, to 150. Above 150, it gets a little easier. Up to 153, 154, and 155, up to those previous highs from November. It's moving, obviously, this morning. Getting ready to run into a little bit of overhead resistance. This will be a good test of these multi-time frame moving averages. If it doesn't fire off overnight, right, and it actually gives us an opportunity, this one could be a fun one to trade. It moves pretty slow. It's a pretty safe trade. Yeah, we need to see what happens when it gets up to the 145 level. All right, 145 psychological level out of the top of the secondary Celts. It starts working on the primaries. Like that move to 150 looks pretty decent. All right. And that's it. So we'll get through the rest of the news really quickly. In world news, Germany announced new restrictions that will begin after Christmas, limiting private groups to 10 people, closing nightclubs nationwide, and large events like soccer matches to be held without in-person audience. Restrictions are going into effect nationwide December 28th. Anytime Germany decides it wants to affect the nation, pay attention. Portugal's coming out. Portugal, their Prime Minister Costa provides an update on its COVID-19 restrictions to counter the rise of coronavirus cases. Nightclubs and bars in Portugal will be shut down from Saturday. Remote working will also become mandatory. Jeez. All right, so Germany's shutting down. Portugal's shutting down. Chicago, right, will require proof of COVID vaccines at restaurant, bars, gyms, and other indoor venues. So that's kind of sketchy, right? And then so U.S. share buybacks more than double in the third quarter, while capex still down 3% from the pre-pandemic amount. Okay. Today earnings this morning, KMX, MSM live, nothing really interesting. After the bell, however, AVO, right, has got earnings, and yeah, they got to do a lot of work to break this downtrend that they're in. Little penny stock, but nice recovery yesterday. Nice recovery yesterday up into some overhead resistance, 34 and 200. Okay, event calendar for today. We have GDP data coming out, gross domestic product data, GDP consumer spending, GDP price deflator, and price deflator for Q3. Core PCE prices all coming out at 8:30. So an hour after the open. So if you need to manage your positions at the open, go ahead and get them in, get them done, and wait for that data. That data will move the market. So, And finally, U.S. futures are looking modestly mixed, a far cry after the sharp rebound of the major stock averages on Tuesday, following 3 days of losses amid fears of fast-spreading Omicron variant. On Tuesday, the Dow is up, S&P up, NASDAQ all screamed higher to settle up about 2.2%. The Russell 2000 gained almost 3% as small caps outperformed after recently falling 5% from records highs. The Asian markets, the Nikkei index, rose 44 points. Shanghai index was little changed. It slipped a few points to 3,600 level. Hang Seng up 131 points. And in Europe, the DAX is about 200. The DAX is up about 20 points, and FTSE is flat just below 7,300. Volumes are expected to slow over the next couple of days. Heading into the holidays, with the U.S. markets being closed Friday. In D.C., the White House continues to negotiate Biden's $1.75 trillion Build Back Better spending bill with senior Democrats, including Manchin, right? So they're trying to negotiate with them, and more European countries tightening travel in and out, and restrictions trying to stymie the recent hike. Obviously, that's pretty important news, right? Europe's taking a look at things. Okay. All right. This is the... All right. So this is our futures chart. Typically, we like to see the bottom row down and the right and the top row up, because that's the way we like to trade stocks. Okay. We hit the 1414, which is my favorite extension of the fib level yesterday from that pullback. Fully anticipate pullbacks. Hopefully we get them pre-market and the market doesn't take off without us. Contrarian, I believe we may be set for some consolidation going into today. All right, this is my 5-minute chart, including up into this is yesterday's move right here. All right, we rallied pre-market, fell off pretty sharply, consolidated. Oh, sorry, I'm off on my days. This was yesterday, right? So here's the 20th. We're on the 20th. So this is today. Nice pullback. ES is actually pulled back below a key support level, right? And if we can get back, right, what is this? Oh, this is the Japan. Dude, what the? I'm like, yo, this doesn't look familiar at all. That's the yen. The yen can continue to fall down. That's fine. Let's look at the ES. Jeez Louise. All right, that's better. Way better. So after the sell-off yesterday, or the last couple of days, a little bit of a rally pre-market up to about, what, 46.10. We fell back to the 618 and then rallied into the close. Currently, we're consolidating between 127 and 1414. I would like us to come back a little bit, maybe to 46.22, because we need room to move, right? We need room to move. If we're way up here with low volume and very little open interest today, more than likely we're going to fade. But if we can maintain this uptrend, right? It's kind of a weird little uptrend. I don't know if I'd really call it an uptrend. Right, there's... All right, what happens when we hit this trend line? If we pull back, it can be kind of bullish. We might just chop all day. As long as we don't get any extremely violent movements. We had a failed Wu-Tang reversal here. 1, 2, 3, failure, pullback. That's what happens when we fail those. Expected larger pullback, rally, 127. Okay. The NQ is looking pretty decent as well. Big pullback, big rally. Tip tapped off the 1618. I'd like it to come back down just a little bit. 15,900 might be decent. We got to have room to move, right? And while we have room to move, oh shoot, do we have a recovery in tech coming out? Ooh, possibly. Look at that Head and Shoulders fake. Let's check this out, shall we? So depending on how large caps do today, we can trade out of this zone that runs to 16,000. Yeah. So any break above 16,000, I think we get super woody. They may try to just keep us here and keep us oppressed for the next couple days and up into next week. Yeah, just keep an eye on things. So with that being said, let's look at the 5-minute chart, and then we'll get into the flow trade plays and move on. So currently, all right, this is a 10-minute chart. The yen is rising more than I would like, but it is kind of rising in kind of channel rising, right? Wu-Tang reversal. It's starting to come up into some pretty significant resistance. If it can break above, I'd be interested to see if the yen goes above this white line level here. If it does, then the rest of the market's going to get kind of weird. Bonds with the pullback, it's kind of in this, it's got this overhead resistance here. This is TLT if you wanted to look at the equity equivalent of the US 10-year. I'd like it to reject off that level, right? Boom, back down to the downside. Crude is up. They're kind of chopping, right? We like crude to be lower, right? We need crude down. I don't know if crude's got much more gas in the tank. I had to say it. And then finally, gold is trying to recover. Gold's trying to make that little whoop reversal. Gold historically has done well in the winter months. However, I think that there's a correlation between gold and crypto. If crypto is rallying, gold should be down. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that to see if that's actually accurate. Okay, healthy pullback on the ES pre-market. Let's base at 46.30. So hopefully they come down a little bit, not too much. So I'd rather they pull back and then rally than run away and have to play that gap fade. So that being said, let's get into the plays. This is the FlowTrade Smart Money Dark Pool and Block Trade algorithm software. If you're new to the stream, thanks for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go ahead and turn on notifications while I get this pulled up. What you're looking at here, white bars are price action. The purple line, it's a little harder to see. We're working on getting that spacing a little thicker, is the regular algorithm. It's a normal algorithm. See, I can go from normal to dark pool to both. I like the regular algorithm. I think it's a little bit more indicative of how price action really moves. And then if you see me start drawing stuff across the screen, which I'm still getting used to, they will be support, resistance. A lot of it will be direction. I will throw on block trades, and I usually only look at like at the most the last 5 days because I believe that's the most relevant, right? So for Google, for example, right, the algo's trading with price action. It's coming up into a pretty decent resistance level at 28.78. If it can rip through some of those levels there, last time we hit this level, we rejected this zone that we're in now, or we simply rally gapped up through it. So there's a gap up basically 2,900, about 2,900 we get super loosey-goosey, right? But expect that overhead resistance to come into play. We are basing off some dark pool levels at 28, 46, 45, 42. Maybe pull back to these at a support for that continued longer move to the upside. We do have a pretty significant climb there. It's not a seahorse. We filled the gap. Right. Also, the algorithm is not connected to a y-axis, so we try to get as much data in as we can, right? Try to get as much data on the chart as we can, and then look at the algo placement. It is trading with price action and continuing to move to the upside. All right. I think that was enough of an intro. I'm going to go back and look at the chat real quick, and let's get into the plays. Yeah, I'm a little upset I can't draw white lines anymore. Talk about taking away the fun. The plug must be having problems. There's so many innuendos today. I love it. All right, starting at the top, Roku. Hold on. We will look at Roku, AMD, Marvell, Net, Overstock, Pins, Peloton. Johnny wants to look at MU. BBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah. Morning, Anthony. Laz, dude, I can't go through all of those. I'll try though. Morning, Ludwig. Hey, Ludwig, how do you feel about the overall market conditions? Let me know what you think. All right. How am I doing on time? I'm doing pretty decent on time. I keep hitting caps lock. Like, why isn't it tabbing? Micron, Roku, AMD, BBY. All right, I'll get through these, and then the next ones up are going to be Marvell, Net, Overstock, Pins, and Peloton. Okay. Micron, I think this might be a good move, a good play to start following a little bit. I don't like this massive gap up because Micron does like to fill gaps. So currently the algorithm is the algo is definitely moving up. Ran into a little bit of overhead resistance. If you look back here, the algo had a little bit of the zone that it decided it wanted to trade in, right? So the algo is in, that's a consolidation zone. If the algo breaks here and pulls back, I fully expect it to pull Micron back with it. Micron is, let's look at some block trade levels. Did run into some overhead resistance right at the 90, 98, 90, 99, and 115 level. So Micron above 91, I think, can get pretty woody depending on what the algo does. If the algo bounces off of this and can rally its way through these dark pool levels here, these regular block trades, I think it could be pretty fun with Micron. They had earnings, I believe, yesterday, and there's a lot of regular block trade support that it's basing off of. Right, I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's a bunch of regular block trades here. 89.50 is your support level. So if we pull back to 89.50 and continue up, we may chop up through 89.50 to 91. Below 89.50, we've got regular blocks all the way down to about 80, 88.80. And if we fall below, we take out that low. Obviously, we want to gap fill back down to the downside. As far as Micron from, oh, what the heck? Yo, Nvidia, what happened? All right, so what I'm not thrilled about is that it's trading in within two clouds. It's trading in the monthly and the daily cloud. This would just be a consolidation from, like I said, that 89.80 up to about 91.50, right? That's trapped, right? It's pretty much in prison. For it to go trifecta, it would need to get above 91.50 for a rally to 92.60. And then above 92.60, it would go full trifecta mode. I think what's happening is it's trying to build up a little bit of momentum here while it's consolidating. That is a pretty big range though, right? I don't know how much the stock moves a day. My little thing's not working. I thought I had an ATR thing on here. Let me get that back. Let me get that added back. All right, so I'm looking for someone who can code TradingView. I need to get a table built for ATR. If y'all know anyone, please hit me up. So I've got a Celts table, right? I want an ACR table built. Okay. Yeah, so Micron is like, it's steadily increasing, but it's in a consolidation pattern here. With the market conditions today, I don't know if we're going to get that volatility needed to rip through previous all-time highs and get us out of these clouds. If support, right, we've got support all the way down to 89.40 at the 4-hour top, right? Pull back to there and maybe continue to move to the upside. Ready and Fire starting to slingshot around. Squeeze Pro starting to slingshot around. So I might want to stay away from Micron a little bit today. I think there may be some better plays. Okay, moving back to looking at the Roku. Roku algorithm is, it's either bull flagging, right, which it very well could be, or it's getting ready to turn back negative. So we've got a potential bull flag setting up on Roku, the Algo, right? The Algo's bull flagging price action is right, setting up some long-term overhead resistance, as well as it's got right, pretty decent wedge it's forming here. Inverted head and shoulders, right? So with Roku, if it can break its neckline, which is basically this previous lows, right? Oh, I can't wait for different colored candlesticks, right? So inverted head and shoulders, right? If it can crack, if Roku can crack above 233, basically above 234, then I think it can get pretty woody with it. The Algo would need to bull flag breakout. Roku would need to inverted head and shoulders breakout, take out this high at 230, 238, 240, right? So the move is a break above 230, 234 to 240. Above 240, it gets pretty loose and goosey, right? The Roku is currently trading within. All right. See, now the ATR thing works, but it covers my stuff up. Let's see how frustrating this is. All right, Roku's got about a $22 ATR currently. Little inverted head and shoulders off of the daily mid, trying to get back up into, right, trying to get back up into the 4-hour top. I don't know where these lines came from, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them because I don't know what they are. Right, currently trading in the weekly cloud. So above the 4-hour top, that 240, right, a break of 240, we rally up to the daily mid, or potentially the weekly cloud top at 247. So from 240 to 250, it's a pretty decent move setting up. Contrarian, it rejects the bottom of this weekly, right? It's already rejected the bottom of the 4-hour. Rejects that. It pulls back, tests the daily mid, 4-hour mid, all the way back down to 4-hour bottom. I like how this 4-hour Celt is setting up, where it's starting to squeeze inside of itself. So that might be setting us up for a larger move to the upside. But again, it's all going to be conditional upon volume and momentum coming in, and I don't know if we're going to get that. It looks like it's struggled at this weekly top, so it's been rejecting it pretty hard. Ready and Fire signal is firing to the downside. Our MACD is neutral and decreasing. Our squeeze histogram is neutral and decreasing. We're in some low compression squeezes right now. Stack moving averages, which would be the next key to look at on Roku, is looking pretty decent. So this isn't a head and shoulders, but it's not really an inverted head and shoulders yet, if that makes any sense. Got some overhead resistance like I'd mentioned before. Okay, moving averages. So we've got stack positive moving averages, 821 or 1321.34, and then we looks like we closed above the 50, and at this 50 is the 39-minute 50. I think I should make that the daily 50, don't you? I think so. So that's the daily 50, and then this is the daily 200. If I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, I think that makes sense, right? So we came down, we kissed the daily bottom, rallied up through the 4-hour mid, back tested it, used it as support, rallied right up to the 4-hour top, rejected that. We've been struggling to get back up into the weekly cloud. If we can get back up into there, we take out the 4-hour top, and then we get above 240, all right, 240 bounce play to 250 and the daily top. Let me illustrate what that looks like for you. So this is the move we've done so far. All right, a little 1, 2. Come on, sucker. 3, 4. Looking for that Elliott wave right there. Okay. However, we've rejected this weekly cloud and 4-hour top. Those are super important primary Keltner channels. Looks like we might be consolidating a little bit. Maybe we consolidate for till next week and then make this move. Or if we reject off this level, we can expect a pullback to 225. Right? If we reject the weekly top again and we take out 230, 228, then we come back down to the 60-minute bottom, right? 225. Roku's kind of fighting for its life. Volume and momentum, my friends, that's what we need. Volume and momentum. It's Facebook. See if I can get anything on Roku here on the 78-minute chart. The 10-minute 30. Yeah, the 10-minute 30-day point of control. Minute 30-day point of control is all the way down here at 216, right? Looking at it on the daily. So we are above the daily 21, right? Bollinger Bands are compressed. Rally, pullback, up, back. Like the Wu-Tang reversal on this sucker is going to be glorious. So let's keep an eye on Roku. Maybe we should add that to our list of stuff because it looks like it's trying to set up for that kind of a move there, right? Off of long-term support in this channel, out of this channel. Yeah, maybe we'll add Roku to our list. Okay, great call out, whoever brought that up. And then AMD. Oh, sorry, block trades. Block trades on Roku. We are at block overhead resistance. I drew that line and there's a dark pull level there. Imagine that. 234.21 is dark pull resistance. 231.77 is regular block trade support, as well as 228.06 is dark pull support. So any of those levels crack, expect a pullback or expect a rally. I've given you the zones. Let's do it. AMD. I'm beginning to like this stock more and more. However, the algo is bearishly diverged, and we're coming up to some key resistance levels. AMD typically has already tried to crack 147 in the past a couple of times, and this is what that looks like here, right? So this would be this would be a triple top. Yeah, I gotta get used to the keyboards. Look how the algo. Let's see how the algo is pretty much net selling. Right, so going into yesterday, we had a chance to break the algo overhead resistance, and now currently the algo is just consolidating. So I'd really look for it to make a move, either breaking previous support and moving to the downside. That would cause a pullback in AMD to some support levels. or AMD goes on a rip and rallies above 140, 146.75. I'd be interested to see what happens at this level. It would definitely be a 1, 2, 3 reversal. It'd be 1, 2, 3 reversal, right? Up to about here, 152-ish area. So on AMD, if we can rally up and backtest using 146, 146.28 as support, I'm gonna have to look at the support and resistance on a different chart. It's just taking too much time, and it's really hard for me to see those small little numbers. Basically, we look for the rally, pullback, rally, right above these levels. I wonder if, gloriousness. So my levels were pretty dang close, right? Pretty dang close. So we're trying to rally up to the 50% retracement, right? We would rally through it, back test it, and maybe consolidate here up until next week and then go above 151. AMD, how am I doing on time? I need to speed up just a little bit. I mean, this was a great move yesterday. If you got the beast numbers off of the low, like 50 cents, right? I can't remember what I called them out at, but if you would have got in here, right, played it up to 144, I had the 144s and they went 65 cents to almost $2, and I had a bad entry. So currently, from a Celt's perspective, we're rallying up into, what are these lines? Do I just randomly draw lines nowadays? Oh, those are fib retracements. I was like, wait a minute. All right, so Roku on the daily, obviously. Slingshot squeeze getting ready to release, right? Ready and fires are getting ready to fire off. We are kind of consolidating, which doesn't surprise me. We're, like I said, we're trying to get back up from the 382 into the 50, and then finally back to the 618 retracement, which puts us above the weekly cloud, also above the daily. So we're trying to get back to this 147 area. We have a 618 at 148.29. That might be it for this week. Going into next week, though, I'm way more optimistic on a potential recovery for AMD. So, like I said, we smacked into the 382. We want to get, which is also, we're in the weekly cloud, going to test the the daily mid, trying to take out the 4-hour top, right? So we got some overhead resistance. The safer play is above 148.31 or 148.50 on Roku, right? So if you want to wait, set an alert for us to break the previous high, 140, whatever this level is, 148.79. Break that, and then we can continue up. This is kind of a longer term, funky little cup and handle forming. So contrarian, that resistance holds. We pull back to 141. We got, and then below the weekly cloud, we have the 4-hour mid at 140. We may backtest that and move down. So just be nimble on AMD. The algo is not really going to help us out. All right, Bed Bath & Beyond. This one, the algo is pretty much been net selling. Price action has been following along with it for the last couple weeks. We did gap down, we gapped up, we gapped down. This is a meme stock. I don't know if we're going to get the gamma squeeze that we're looking for, but we definitely have potential. So shift doesn't work, right? This is a zone I'd like to trade in, 180 to 1, or was it 90, 98 to 102, right? Trade that zone. The algo is not helping us at all. So the algo is pulling back. We're coming up into some overhead resistance where in the past we've rejected it, right? this algo line. It's confusing. All right, just down channel on BBBY. So if you're looking to short it, there's a gap fill down to 95, and then below 94.50, there may be some downside moves. The algo is definitely selling off on this. So that was BB. All right, so pullback, Best Buys this time of year. It's up into the daily bottom, above the 4-hour bottom. So any sort of slingshot squeezes, releasing, anything like that. It's got about a $5 ATR. Look for overhead resistance at 99. Above 99, we hit 100, which is a psychological level. Above 100, for our top at 101. If we crack, if we can break 101, if we can just basically break 102, then I think the trend might be reversed. Well, actually, it would be 103, above 103. Immediately, we've got the daily above us at 105, monthly at 107, and then finally make that move up to 112. Is it starting to recover? It's a little too early to tell. I want more conviction. I want it to be an actual reversal. So 103. All right, what was next? All right, so Marvell, net, overstock. Yo, I keep hitting caps lock. Doesn't help me out. Marvell, overstock, net. I have to hit it twice. Okay, and then pin to rest. All right, so these last ones I'm going to go through really quickly because I still want to get to our bread and butter list, okay? As far as Marvell goes, there's the alarm. I'll be right back. All right, Marvell, not to be confused with Marvel. Oh, you guys can't see it. Not to be confused with Marvel. Two different companies. So Marvell gapped up, rallied up, pulled back, is consolidating here. The algorithm is just trading with price action. We've got a little bit of bearish divergence on the algo. So looks like we need to, all right, we need to get rid of that overhead resistance. Looks like it could possibly be a little bit of a wedge. Currently, we've got some dark pull levels at 84.17 as support. Overhead resistance 86.50-ish levels, regular and dark pull overhead resistance. I definitely like to see us break out of. Is that a wedge breakout? Or is that is that an overhead resistance breakout? Very possibly. There's definitely room. Oh, what did I do? There's definitely a little zone. Right, so there's a move from what, 86 to 90, and then above 90. I think there's a pretty decent move coming up. However, if this algo pulls back down, right, we don't have my circle tool anymore, but if it pulls down, you can anticipate price action below 84.17, coming and testing 80, and then gap filling down to 76. Overstock, algo's trading with price action. Just definitely just a lot of net selling happening. As far as from a block trade perspective, the last 30 days, everything's just consolidating at regular block trades right around, we don't even have anything in the last week. In the last 20 days, we've got some regular blocks at 64 that is providing support, and then as low as 62.83. So 64 to 62.83. I want this algo to be separated. I wouldn't touch overstock until the algo separates and gives us a clear direction. Net, which is Cloudflare. Algo's just trading with price action. Cloudflare did come up and fill that gap. It's starting to get into a little bit of a trading zone here from 150. Lots of block trades in the last 30. We've got some regular blocks that range from 143 to 144.50. If we can clear, right, basically if we can clear that overhead resistance, right, that 144.50-ish level, I think we can move pretty decently up to this previous zone here, right? That level there, 162. However, if we break this upward trend line that we're in right now, right, we've got a dark pool support down here at 131.89. Right, that's this level here. The Algo's pulling back. Algo's got overhead resistance, right? This is not, right? So the Algo is in a falling wedge. Algo's falling wedge. Price action's fighting against it. It's got overhead resistance. It's only attempted to break above this level once before. At the last time it was here, it failed Wu-Tang reversal and gapped down, consolidated, trying to get back up through it. Net, right? Cloudflare, I love the company. This one definitely moves pretty consistently within the Keltner channels. Currently, we're trading at the 4-hour top. If we can break above 147, we go up and test 153, 158. On our way up to 180, which I think, yeah, so that would be definitely, I would consider that a reversal, right? Right off of the monthly cloud and through the dailies, right? Up through the daily top, bull flag on the daily. Squeeze, slingshot squeeze has released. Ready and fire signal is fired off. MACD is neutral increasing. Yeah, net looks pretty good. ATR about $15 a day. The algo's definitely not helping us out, so this is going to be purely price action. I think if it can break out right above these previous levels and trade this bottom zone here to the mid, right? So 147 to 154. I think that the algos might start coming back in then. So definitely keep net on your watch for today. I think net looks pretty decent. Who brought that up? Thanks, appreciate it. Is that D-Ray? And then finally, Pinterest. The algo's just kind of consolidating. We don't have any clearly defined divergences, and price action is running into longer term overhead resistance, right? Triple top, it's failed before. All right, it's got to trade through that channel. The algo itself is, let's see, what did the algo do? So I mean, the algo is attempting to make higher highs and higher lows. However, until it gets above basically that level, it's just trading with price action, right? This divergence here is played out. That divergence played out. Trading with price action. No real divergences to speak of. I've got other things I would want to play with pins, but yeah, you can see it from there. All right, the last couple plays here. Let me check out the chat. What we got going on here? Did Wish bottom? Do I have any plays for about $200 for options or put? Absolutely. I will get them to you in a second. I'm sorry, I'm reading Les, I don't know how you keep track of all of these stocks, dude. That's a lot. Um, uh, bro, which one do you want me to look at? There's 20 stocks on there. I can't look at all of those. Will you pick a couple that you're interested in? While I do our bread and butter list real quick. So Google, I did AMD already. Facebook. I want to look at Netflix. Tesla. Okay. So far, Cat is making a pretty decent move for the day. Nvidia is rolling over. So if you're in Nvidia, I don't think it might be good for you today. Nvidia might not be the move. Let me show you what's going on with the Nvidia. All right. So rally into yesterday, faded into the close, right? Faded aftermarket. So it hit 292 and then faded all the way back to 287.50. It's chopping there, attempted to break the 292 level twice pre-market, and it's been rejected both times. Pretty significant rejection both times. So it's trying to get into this weekly cloud top, right? If it breaks above 292, all this momentum and pressure, this ready and fire slingshot is going to be released, and it's going to thrust us up to the 4-hour top. I wouldn't be surprised if we consolidate until our moving averages get stacked positive. I'm not liking this little pattern that's forming. I don't believe it's technically a strat pattern, right? Or it's anything like that, but I believe this is like it's a funky looking like that's funky looking, right? It's usually supposed to be the other way. So you've got this doji, increasing doji, increasing doji. Like AMD might pull back to 285, or Nvidia might pull back to 285, which would be the 13 EMA. Yeah, that's just it's a funky pattern. It's like an increasing. I don't know. I've never seen it before. Has anybody seen that? Tesla, Merck, Asana Square. Okay. So there's either going to be serious bounce plays in Nvidia, or it's going to be pulled back. We've got secondary squeezes setting up, right? Which is basically 1 minute to 4 hour, right? All right, that's Nvidia. All right, so the Google Rick. All right, Google is the algo is trading with price action, right? Let's see if I can get all this squeezed in here. All right, algo is trading with price action. The algo is coming up to some previous overhead resistance that it couldn't get through, right? So if the algo can do its job and get through that level there, I think it might be able to pull price action with it. Google rallied, pulled back, gap filled down, consolidating, right? Big gap up, fade, fade. I think we found a reversal, but we're currently, the last time we made this pattern right here, right? Very similar, gapped up. So I don't know what Google's going to do. Low volume, it may affect things. We may just consolidate for a little bit, but looks like some previous overhead resistance coming into about 2,900, which I think might be a good pin level for Google for this week. So I'll be looking at the 2,900s, possibly the 2,950s. Those are going to be super discounted. Definitely got some resistance coming in here at 2,922. 2,920 also. So whatever. 29.10, 29.10, 29.20, that little $10 zone right there. Algo is pointed up, waiting for the algo to break above its previous high, right, and be making higher highs and higher lows. From a Google perspective, looking at Google, oh, come on, give me the right chart. Looking at Google on the 4-hour, it's building momentum. Pulled back to the daily bottom. The next stop is the daily mid at 280.90, and then the daily top. If I bring this down to the 15-minute chart, it'll pull in my 4-hour Celts. Right, currently trading at the 4-hour Keltner mid off the daily bottom. So daily bottom rally up to the weekly mid, pull back, found the 4-hour bottom of support, currently consolidating along the 4-hour mid. We've got the daily mid above us, and then finally the 4-hour top at 29.25. So slingshot squeeze potentially could fire to the long side. We need a ready aim fire to kind of do an about face here. MACD is neutral and decreasing. Going to be very interested to see which way the squeeze fires. Looking at Google from getting our moving averages built into this. We ran into the 50 overhead. We ran into the 15 top. Like we ran into a bunch of Keltner channel tops overnight. Like I said, for Google, I would anticipate a pullback, right? Pullback to some previous highs, maybe 28.50 or 28.58 potentially for support, right? So pull back to here. If we break that, Fibonacci would tell us that come on. Seriously, give me the dang thing. There we go. Fibonacci's got a 618 retracement at 28.50. So pull back to 28.50. If that holds, then I think we can get a move up to the upside. I'll be watching those 28.50s. So the Google 28.50s. Maybe the Google 2900s. So the Google 2900s from anywhere from like $3 to $5 on that pullback to support, right, to 28.50, may be a pretty decent move to the upside. Currently, Google is struggling to get back up to the 50, above the 34. Slingshot, no real squeezes to help us out, so maybe we pull back to support, right? I'm going to keep an eye on it for sure. If I'd be willing to look at getting in at around 28.43 at the most. Like if it breaks below 28.43-ish, right? Then we may have to look at some puts to the downside, like the 2800 put at like $3. Okay, that's Google. I'm doing it on time. All right. Netflix, Algo's trading with price action a little bit. The Netflix, oh, sorry. Facebook, sorry. I lost myself. All right, so Facebook is making like a weird reverse wedge pattern. The Algo selling off. So the Algo's been taking profits in Google for quite a while now. Okay, Google did come down and find some support at this level here. But if you notice, Google is also or Facebook. Jeez, Louise, Facebook. I don't know, but that's, come on. Right, it's kind of a funky little pattern there. So if it does come up, make higher highs, 345, it looks pretty decent. I need this. I need the algorithm to curl and break above. Right, break above there, drag price with it. Price action is doing a pretty decent job of maintaining this little funky little channel it's in. Right. Kind of weird little channel, and then it's obviously got some pretty significant overhead resistance. Facebook today, resting at the 4-hour mid right? Radiant fire rejected. MACD is neutral and decreasing. We could pull back to 330 for a longer move to the upside. There's just this zone, right? One, two, three, four. So fifth wave move on a potential pullback to 330 for support, which would be a fib retracement to the 618, and then I think there's a move to 341, right? I'll be looking at those Facebook 340, maybe, hold on. I'm going to be looking at the Facebook 335s, right? Those anywhere from 60, under a dollar. Let's just say that. The 335 is under a dollar. And then the that's a lot of support right there. I don't know if we break. I don't know if I'd want to try to play a downside play on that, to be honest with you. There's just a lot of support. But if it does break 328, it's got support at 326. So Facebook can go either way, but I'm definitely bullish on it. I don't know. So like I said, I'm waiting for it to come back and back test the 330 level and see what happens there. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Downtrending, obviously. Falling wedge. I don't know if I can count that wick or not. That might just be an algo wick. Guess I have to count it. One, two, three, four, 5. So if Facebook breaks below 331.50, right? That's going to be a pretty decent pullback. I think the next stop would be down here at the 1 hour bottom at 328.82. If I threw a fib from here to here, right? The 618 at 331.50 is the next logical support level. If it breaks 331.50, I'm going to look at playing the 330 put or potentially the 328. Contrarian, if it breaks this overhead resistance and gets up above 335, right? There's a move from 330 to 335 above 336. I think we start moving to 339 and then 341. Ultimately, I'd like that to have happen, which is pretty good. As far as the numbers go, Facebook. What am I doing on time? I gotta hurry up a little bit here, y'all. Those 335s for this week. If you can get these for under $1, that'd be a pretty screaming deal. I messed up and loaded the December 31st calls and puts into my watch list, and I was like, why isn't it moving? What's going on? That was a user error. Yeah, so on Facebook, contrarian, like I said, if it breaks, we've got room to the downside. Netflix. So Netflix is divergence is played out. The algorithm is trading with price action. Let me show you block trades on Facebook real quick. I forgot to do that. Right, we're at dark pool support right now. I like it to move to the upside if this dark pool support cracks. So if 332.70, yeah, 331.50 cracks, we've got regular block trade support at 329, then down to 326, and then as low as 323. So that'd be a pretty decent pullback on Facebook. So that's Facebook two ways. Netflix. I haven't traded Netflix in a long time, but I really enjoyed trading it the last time I traded it for the couple months there. So we gapped up, rallied up, back tested, or back gap filled, whatever you call that. Currently running into some overhead resistance, which is previous lows. So there looks like there is a zone here that Netflix is about to enter into. Pretty decent trading zone. Right, that guy there, I might be off on that a little bit, but it's pretty close. I like this move. So 1, 2, 3 attempts at breaking this overhead resistance. We've got nice strong uptrending support. And the Algo is trading with price action. So if the Algo can take out its previous high there, right, I think that we can get a pretty good move up on the Netflix. Oh yeah, this looks pretty decent. All right, so Netflix is coming up into the 4-hour top. The safe play for Netflix is above, 607.50 for a move to 610, and then finally, right, 615, 620. However, if it rejects this 4-hour top here, we can play the downside move to 595, 592, and then 590. I mean, Ready and Fire's getting ready to fire off. Consolidating, compressing, squeeze. Obviously, we've got a little bit of MACD divergence that's occurred. Well, never mind. No, we don't. $20 ATR. Primary MACDs are up. ISK, right? Interim Celts are down. So it's going to be momentum and conviction. Can Facebook rally and backtest the 4-hour top? We're going to find, or Netflix. Can Netflix rally and backtest the 4-hour top? I mean, this is pretty good strength, right? Right off the daily 4-hour bottom. Slingshot squeeze release. We got a little bit of one firing yesterday. Again, I would need confirmation. So maybe rally, pullback, rally. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'd like to see kind of this move here. Right? I'd kind of see that, like to see that kind of move on Netflix. Pre-market rallied. We pulled back to the 15 bottom. As long as we don't just chop between 600 or 602 and 607 all day, and we actually get some momentum going, right? Bull flag breakout. Yeah, let's look at Netflix. Netflix could be fun today. What's the target on Netflix? 610? All right, so those 610s, if you can get into those for about, hold on one sec. You know what? Why am I doing that? Doing things the hard way. Does Netflix hit 620 today? I don't think so. I'm playing today like it's Friday, to be honest with you. And then to the downside, if 600 breaks, I don't know, they've just got a lot of support coming in. If 600 breaks, I'll probably go a little heavy, or a little deeper in the puts and look at the 600 puts for about $1.50. Looking at the 610 calls for about $1.30 or less. ISK, right, on Netflix. And then Tesla. So Tesla, we finally got a little bullish divergence on the algorithm. Block trades on Netflix, sorry. All right. No block trades in the last couple days. So Tesla is trading with price action, right? We're coming up into some previous resistance, right? Block trade, the algorithm's starting to run into previous lows and previous highs. What it does at this level, if the algo cracks this level and continues to move up, I feel like we can anticipate Tesla making a pretty decent recovery move, right? 950 is going to be a pretty key level on Tesla as far as block trades are concerned. Let's look and see what Elon's done in the last couple weeks, right? Definitely have created a base, right? So there's a lot more shares on the market. 950 is really going to be the key determining level. If we can get above these dark pool levels at 950 and take out previous lows at 957, I think Tesla can hit 1,000. What did I say? 950? Well, we beat that. So we're coming up so we're trying to get out of the monthly bottom cloud, right? We've got the 4-hour top coming up here. We're pretty overextended, pretty oversold, right? We need to consolidate a little bit. I think we might pop up over it. I think we might hit 1,000 today in Tesla. Larger than 1,000 for Tesla. I mean, either we bull flag here up into next week, or the slingshot squeeze releases and we break the 4-hour top at, oh crap, we hit 977. So we hit the 4-hour mid, we hit this mid level here, right? We would need to break up and above it. So we would need to go like this. That's the move we're looking to have happen. Super rally. Like I said, we get above 970, 978.85. I want to go long on Tesla. Up to up to 1,000. If we crack 1,000, then 1025 would be the next stop. As far as Tesla is concerned, levels I'm looking at on Tesla. So the Tesla 1000s, anywhere from under $3, look pretty decent. The Tesla 950s under $5 look pretty decent for calls. As far as puts are concerned, geez, there's so many. Actually, I like these Tesla 980 calls. Oh man, that's gonna be a tough one. Because we're gonna open at 980, we're gonna pull back, right? Or a bunch of profit taking is gonna happen. If Tesla hits 950, I'll look at the 980s. If we just don't pull back and we hit 900, I'll look at the thousands. But all of them are going to be under, I don't know. Tesla, what are you doing today? I haven't traded Tesla enough to know it well enough to know if the 950 or the 1,000 is a better deal. 1,000 might be the psychological level everybody wants it to hit. It is previous highs. It does have to get through the 4-hour top, right? And that 4-hour runs from 980 to 993. So possibly the 980 calls at like $4, right? Because I think that'll get us to like 993. That's it for Tesla. And then finally, that's it. I gotta run. Laz, I'll pull them up for you and run through them really quickly. I can't do a deep dive on it, bro. I'm sorry. I did Tesla for you though. Square, Wish. All right, Square, we got bullish divergence. If Square can break its previous lows at 173, I think it can move back up to 180, right? That's Square. Wish, bearish divergence. Expect more selling off on Wish. The Algo selling off as well. Netflix, I did. Asan, bearish divergence. If it can't break its previous highs on for Asan, if it can't break 83, I think the Algo is going to drag it back down to some of these support levels at 75. Yeah, I got to run. I'll try to post some stuff in the chat. That's it. Thanks. Have a great day. I'm sorry I was late this morning. I gotta look. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the stream and see what I can improve upon as far as getting it to you faster and quicker. Because I need at least 20 minutes to prepare for my day too. So, thanks for joining me. I'm Darkwell Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I do a weekend watch list. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay green. Pretend like today is Friday. Get in, get out. Expect volatility to be done around noon. Okay, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna swing stuff. Just be careful. There's not gonna be a lot of volatility afternoon. People are like, I'm out of here. Peace. Okay, see you later. Have a good day.